where's my main theme? There we go. Excellent. Captain, and if you can give us your log today.
Captain's log, Stardate 55286.4. For after a brief relief in at Deep Space Nine, we returned to duty to begin our investigations to find the source of the Bajoran resistance. Well, the pause log.
Log paused.
Yeah, that's pretty much my end log because we're still going through it halfway.
Okay. As we start our adventure, we've been given a short few-hour leave on Deep Space Nine. As the plot thickens, and so to speak, we found out evidence of some sort of terrorist Bajoran an organization that is active in the sector, and we also have the Cardassian. We also have the Cardassian and diplomat, Ambassador Rel, who is en route to Bajor, in a short 72 hours. The Roosevelt is en route to Cardassia to pick him up, and we'll be bringing him here. It is your task to find enough evidence. It's to either stop the plot or to convince the ambassador to turn around and delay the peace conference he's been working so hard on. And system map. As the Svalinn and the Defiant are docked at Deep Space Nine, which is a fair distance away from Bajor or Prime. We also have the Solar Leaf docked, and work crews are currently working on finishing up the repairs as that Commander Maddox could not do in the middle of space. It is dawn of day one.
Okay, I think I'll be on the captain's chair, looking through a pad on potential avenues to deal avenues that we acquired to find these Bajoran and terrorists.
Okay. Where would you like to start?
Are the by any chance any of the prisoners still on the station?
All of the prisoners are still on the station, and you do have access to interview them if you would like.
Okay, I think I'll do a quick thing and assemble all the all active officers to the conference room for a officer meeting.
Ooh, I get to use this button now. All senior officers to the briefing room. All senior officers to the briefing room. As presumably everyone wakes up, grabs their coffee, and heads to the briefing room aboard the Svalinn.
As I walk in, I'm just going to be talking to Dr. Bog and be like, I've just had this crick in my shoulder since playing some racquetball over on Deep Space Nine. I'm just hoping you could take a look at it for me after this.
I know what you mean. It's an aggressive game. How did you do? Were you able to at least prevail? Was the shoulder worth it?
Oh, it was worth it. It was worth it. It was also worth it afterwards.
Gotcha. Fantastic. I've got just a thing that'll take the kink out of that. We'll get you fixed right up.
All right, as everyone files into the room, Captain, the floor is yours. Oh, as
I'll enter very nervously because I'm not technically a senior officer.
Yes, it is about this time. Commander, you were informed about an hour ago in the wee early hours in the morning, and that your con officer was here, and he has just moved in, been assigned quarters, and he is now awaiting entry into the briefing room.
You want to take bets on how long he's going to wait out there?
Yeah, I think I'll start by welcoming Maldon to the Svalinn and extend my hand over the handshake.
I'll return it. Maldon will return it. Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure and an honor.
Understandable. I will. So let's get down to business so far. I think you are all debriefed on what's happening.
Very lightly, sir. But I think I got the gist of it.
Okay, so we have about 2 or 3 different avenues to go through this. Knight, I would like you to go and interrogate the prisoners to see if we can find more info about these xenophobic Bajorans. And I would like you to take Dibavav with you to assist.
I quickly scan my security records to see who it is that they're talking about.
Dibavav is a crew support or character. She is a Betazoid, and her files indicate that she is an empath. With decent security rating and good for ground combat and diplomacy. Here, show the players. Yep, here's our file.
It would be my pleasure, Captain. Do we need to request special permission from Deep Space Nine to do this?
Yeah, I'll send the request after the meeting. Maldon, Maddox, I would like you to look through the fight that we have in the shuttle bay to see if we could find any evidence through that avenue.
Aye, sir.
And Bog, if you want to, you could assist a knight with his orb. Wait, GM, is there a third avenue?
Those are the big ones. You could also look over the actual words of the treaty, who's coming to the opening ceremony, and gathering the dossiers of all the VIPs that are going to be there. But that's more of a command and staff. But Dr. Bog helping monitoring the prisoners during the interview might be helpful.
Yeah, I think that'll work.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Okay, let's get started. We have about 48 hours until the meeting. Well, about the
72 hours. You have 72 hours. Yep.
Okay, might be.
I might have changed it, but yeah, you have 72 hours until the ceremony starts.
Well, Dr. Bog, do you think you can take a look at my shoulder as we're walking to security on D Space Nine?
I think we've probably got time to run to sickbay real quick and just get this taken care of. It won't take 10 minutes.
All right, let's do that. Captain?
Yeah, that's fine.
Giving a quick salute as I head off.
All right, so we have Dr. Bog and Knight heading to the sick bay. Do we want to roleplay any of this out, or?
Sure, I hopefully I can't mess this up too bad anyway. I wouldn't think.
See if we can get us some momentum before we begin. Let's do it.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I'll do a quick rally to do that.
Well, if you're going to do the rally, you have to give a rousing speech each in the quarters. I could totally allow you to do that.
Yeah. Pretty
All
much
right, what's your
I'll
rousing
do it on
speech?
Okay, I think I'll start by throwing in as part of the we have 70 the 3 hours to make the ambassador's arrival safe. So let's show them what Starfleet can do.
All right. Presence command difficulty 0.
I would like to spend 1 threat for third dice.
Okay. And we're starting off strong with 3 momentum. And everyone is dismissed. All right. So we have Dr. Bog and Lieutenant Knight in the sick bay, and yeah, you kind of a twinge in your shoulder. It's not much, but it's definitely enough to annoy you. And if you're going into an interview, you have to keep a clear face, keep focused, and so you kind of want to take care of that before you go grilling someone.
Well, my big thing is I want to make sure he doesn't have a tear in a muscle or something that could worsen also.
Yep.
And so I'll do Knight, what was the action that you did? Was it an overhand or a side hit that caused the onset of pain, or was it something that gradually built? Was it a sharp onset? What happened exactly?
Oh, it was a sharp onset. I gave them a good forehand, smashed the ball against the wall because I'm very good at this game, and clearly won my point. But unfortunately, in doing so, it's almost like this click happened as I did it.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll do a quick physical exam, see if I can feel any deformities that maybe have occurred. Make sure it's not anything with the bone, and if it's not, if it's just muscular, then I'll treat it for that.
You, Doctor, are a legend.
Okay. I don't know about that, but we can certainly handle this anyway.
All right. That's going to be a reason medicine roll. Difficulty E2, but you could call on the advantage of your nursing staff to help if you want and bring that difficulty down.
Oh, absolutely. Nurses are there to keep doctors from killing people.
All right. So with that advantage, it brings down to difficulty 1.
Okay. All right. And can any of the diagnostic tools in sickbay also give me a roll?
Yes. Computers or sensors? Sensors medicine.
Sensors medicine. Okay. Here's my roll. And somebody wants to roll for the Svalinn.
Yeah, I'm just setting it up. Here it goes. So, yep, let's give it a go.
Fantastic. That's going to generate some momentum.
Excellent. So we have 4. So we are at full momentum.
With 6 momentum, I think we should invade Cardassia. Let's do it.
Sure. I'm just going to generate 5 threat right now.
Did we ever find out how many threat you have to summon a Borg cube?
I haven't even looked, but I think it's upwards of 20 to 30.
Oh, okay. We're good then.
Yep. But as far as you can and tell again, correct me if my medicine's ends wrong, but it feels like a tendon and snapped in his shoulder.
Well, that would require surgery. Probably not a tendon, but he probably has a strained tendon.
Strained tendon. Okay.
There you go. Yeah. A displaced tendon would require me to put him under and reattach that. But very likely a strained tendon and possibly some small muscle tears, and that's something that just a little bit of rest and some pain meds will help him through.
Fantastic. As long as it's nothing serious, Doc. But
Oh,
we
I-
can't fix it with just waving some light over me.
Well, I'm sure there's some sort of dermal something or another that would help regenerate that.
Yeah, there's a tissue regenerator that
There
you
we
can and dial into help regenerate a torn muscles and ligaments.
Fantastic. We'll use that to get him back up and running then. And
Little anesthesia and recommends and you keep an eye on him for the next week.
yeah, I'll just follow up. I don't necessarily need to keep a close eye on him. Just basically, it's take 2 aspirin and call me if there's any problems, kind of thing. Beyond that, as long as he, I wouldn't recommend playing any more handball for a week or so, but good to go.
Roger that, Doc. I think we spent enough time on this, so let's get over to that interrogation.
Fantastic.
Excellent. We're gonna move now to. No, come on, Ribbon. To Deep Space Nine. As you can see labeled here, the Svalinn is docked at Cargo Bay, or Docking Bay 2. It's just one of the median and docks in between the Great Pylon Arms. The Pylon Arms are for larger ship classes. Ours can actually fit in one of the smaller docks. And yeah, everything's labeled. There's a rep mat here, Quarks bar, infirmary, surgery, and the security station, and with the holding cells just behind him.
So first time I've seen us use a support character. Is someone else going to be running Daba Vav?
Yes, someone else at the table can run Deva Vav. Wait, what? Wrong one. Phineas. There we go. All right, you step off the pad, or you step out of the airlock, and immediately you see the Deep Space Nine promenade. It's early morning, and there's lots of people milling about. We're talking a couple hundred people, probably around this whole ring. And just all sorts of species and different clothes and different uniforms, arms. It is just the perfect representation of what the Federation is supposed to be. Just a melting pot of all sorts of races and species working together and just having a home here. Oh, that cuts off suddenly? No, loop. Loop, damn you. There we go.
I thought my wireless headset had died for a second. Okay, great. So if it's just the 3 of us, let's make our way over to station security, which is where I guess we need to head to.
Yep.
So, who's going to be playing Daba?
Any other player who's not currently in the scene can and pick up Deva.
I guess it was more a question to the other players. Who's going to pick up David?
Going once.
I say if no one picks them up, we lose them.
I'll do it.
Okay.
So,
And-
Deva, I'm thinking I'm gonna play bad cop. You could be good cop. It's an old tactic. I've seen it on holovids from the olden days. I think it's something that we should give a try here.
I could also tell if they're lying or not with my abilities.
I gotcha. Let's not announce that you're an empath straight away, though, right? Let's just pretend you're a regular, old, useless human, doesn't have any special powers, until you get some info. Then we can dive on it.
You could set up an advantage of a secret tell that Deva could do if she detects any lying.
Love it. I guess we need to use the momentum for that. I thought we had 6 momentum.
It goes down 1 per scene. So this is a new scene.
Okay. I think we need to use the momentum for that, right? To create that advantage. Let's do that. That's an awesome idea.
Yeah, you can either use momentum or you could roll for it. It's either 2 momentum or difficulty 2 task to set up advantages. For this, present security difficulty 2 to just set up a secret no scratch.
I think Dave, we should set that up looking at her stats. Or their stats. I will happily assist.
Okay, security
Right.
presence.
Yep, security presence difficulty 2.
And would team dynamics work?
Absolutely. This is very much a team dynamics thing.
Okay, I will do 1 momentum for a 3rd dice.
Okay. And gain it back. As you have the advantage of a secret signal that you both agree on, and you can subtly scratch your nose in such a way to let Knight know that, hey, this guy's lying. You step up to station security, and there is a grizzly old human in there, probably in his 40s. Looks like he's spent all his life looking out on sea in that grizzled look, but he stands up. You must be a Lieutenant Knight from the Svalinn, correct?
Indeed I am. Is he in a Federation uniform?
Yep, he's Federation.
In rank?
Commander.
Indeed, Commander. We are here to interrogate, or question, should I say, the captains. The prisoners, sorry.
Captives work. They're not really prisoners yet until we can press charges on them, but you know how bureaucrats are. They don't like working outside of Alpha Shift.
I know exactly how they feel. What's their status? Is everything okay with them? They eating well? Recently been fed?
Yeah, they've all eaten. They've been recently fed. You do have a mixed crew in there, so I kind of I've separated them, male and female, just in case. Nice, but there's two to a cell. Oh, but we could pull one out at a time for you. I do have a basic dossier of their names and ages.
That would be very useful. Can we take a look at that, please?
Mm-hmm. One moment. I appear to be missing information here. And let me set this up. Anyone with the link can view. And he hands you a pad. And in your Discord messages, you should be getting a link to a Google Doc called Rap Sheets for Fighters.
Thank you.
And
This information will be most useful.
Yep, there's all sorts of information on there.
Out of you, seeing while you've been watching them, do any of them appear to be the weakest of the group? Most likely to crack?
Young Leeway seems to be the most intimidated out of all of them. He's young, kind of a student, and just kind of got swept up in the wrong crowd out, it seems.
All right, let's have a talk then with this Leeway. Let's start with them.
All right.
Looks like I'm going to tell the group this person that seems to have no priors and has a known associate of Val Ida that doesn't seem to be captured. Or doesn't seem to be part of this group that we have here. As I hand the data pad around.
Yep, and anyone with the link should be able to read this. I can drop this.
I just put it into the Discord chat.
Excellent. All right. So you want to start with Phonak Leeway?
Yes, indeed. Yes, please. Set us up in a private room somewhere if we can.
All right, I'll set that up for you. And a couple minutes later, he lets you know that he is set up.
Doc, maybe you could lead things off and just do a quick medical scan to make sure that they're okay and make it look like we care about them. Alright, let's open the door and head in.
Yep. You're led into the room. It's standard interview room. Couple chairs. There's a desk. There is recording equipment in the upper corners.
I look at the doctor and nod, as if to indicate go ahead.
And
Okay,
before you is a very small, mousy-haired Bajoran and male, age 22, and he is sweating bullets.
My name's Dr. Bog. I'd like to just do a quick exam on you, make sure that you're healthy and that there's no problems. Do you mind?
I didn't mean to. I didn't think I would get in trouble.
Okay. Well, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm just going to check you out real quick, and I'll go ahead and just pull out the tricorder and do the scan, GM.
Yep. He submits to it cautiously. Reason, medicine, difficulty 2. Yep. his blood pressure and heart rate is a bit high. His stress hormones are kind of up, but given the situation that's expected,
Nothing that I would see that's gonna have this guy have a stroke or a heart attack on us right here. So
no, well within tolerance, just kind of elevated.
okay.
I'll
look at night. He's all yours.
Thank you, Doctor.
For one point of momentum, I could give you some extra information.
On his medical side?
Yep.
All right, I'll spend a momentum.
All right. His bones and joints have slightly decalcified, as if he's been living in a relatively low gravity environment for the past month.
Okay, I'll make note of that, and we'll discuss that a little later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nothing of like serious medical attention, but just like, just make sure he drinks his milk.
Okay, thank you for that, Doctor. Funok, do you mind if I call you Funok?
That's his surname. Bajoran naming. That's his surname. Bajoran naming conventions. The family name comes first. His given name is given second.
Would he like to tell me that?
Huh?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, as a custom, you would know this. But
Fair enough.
Yeah, he would correct you.
Thank you for that correction. Leeway, that is what I guess I would call you. Tell me, who or what is Val Ida?
He's a friend of my aunt's.
Did you say she?
She. Yep, Val Ida is she.
Okay. I'm sorry, rudely of me I didn't introduce. This is Daiba. She's a colleague of mine who's going to be here to help me ask you some questions. So tell me, where is your base?
It's nowhere. We were just roaming around.
Just roaming around. Just happened to pick. What made you pick that ship then?
It was
To attack.
It was heading to Cardassia.
Interesting. And how did you know it was heading to Cardassia, or how did you know it would be there? Space is a very large place. You telling me you just happened to run into that ship?
Present security difficulty E1. He's clamming up
I'm
about
using
it.
interrogation techniques for this one.
Okay. So lots of extra information you can get.
Diva will assist. I'm guessing team dynamics will work.
Yes, team dynamics for Diva will work since she's assisting. Alright, so you have one float, but we have a complication on the table. Would you like to quash that?
Which is by spending momentum to do that?
Yes, 2 momentum to quash a complication.
I guess we should do that.
Alright.
Oh yes. So what emotions am I sensing?
Fear, terror, regret, disappointment in self. But after grilling him a little bit, he caves and says, as we were told that at this ship would be around this area.
By Vale Ida. How would you feel if we brought Vale Ida in for questioning, just out of interest?
I haven't seen her in years. And that's a lie. That is an absolute red flag lie. Even you can tell that night.
I'm gonna slam my hands on the desk that's in front of him and tell him, I know you're lying! I could see it all over your face! Tell me, where is your base? Where is Val Ida? Why are you here?
We're here to protect our world. To remove the Xeno influence from Bajor.
So, that's one part of my question. And where is your base? And where is Val Ida? You want me to roll for this to try and get this info out of him?
Yeah. Let's make that difficulty 3.
Difficulty 3, okay.
Difficulty 3, presence command. Or presence security.
Okay. I'm still using interrogation techniques.
Yep.
I am going to spend a momentum then to get an extra dice.
Okay.
And here it goes. So, alright, I guess we
Nice.
passed. It says, it's just a question about untapped potential. Whenever the character sees a task for which they roll one or more additional dice with either moments or effect, they may roll 1. I don't understand. I guess I've copied and pasted this incorrectly from somewhere. Do you know how that works, or does anyone know how that works?
Oh, when you succeed on a task that you bought extra dice with momentum, you roll 1 challenge dice and you gain momentum based on the number, or you roll on the challenge dice. But if you roll an effect, I gain a threat instead.
And that's just roll d6, right? Or do I have to press the button still?
You open up the sheet, go to the...
Yeah, okay, I can press the button still on challenge dice, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
just make sure
Hit
you
enter, yeah.
push the number and press enter.
Anyone have a problem if I do this? Too late!
Well,
I don't know what that does.
that's the effect symbol, so he gets a threat.
Oh well.
Alright. So yeah, so we passed anyway though, right?
Yes, you passed. You gained your momentum back, and the question was, where's Val Ida and where's your base? I don't know where my base is. We were ferried there by a larger vessel, some sort of flight deck cruiser. It ferried us in and out.
I was about to ask if we could spend momentum to know more about this vessel.
He could give you some information on that, yes. Interrogation techniques still apply, so would you like to use one of those questions?
Up to you, Knight.
Sure, let's do it. I don't know what the question is, but yeah, let's do it. So are you saying, sorry, we want to ask the question, tell me more about the ship?
Yeah, like...
Tell me more about the vessel that ferried you.
It was old. It was large. He gives you approximate beam and width, and it sounds about scale L5. It was also pretty shaky at high warp.
Does the ship have a name, kid?
Not that I was told. I was just told to come on board. Here's my fighter, and when we're ready, it'll be scrambled.
I am going to get very angry while facing him and then turn away and look at Dava. Give them the signals to say, your turn.
Okay, I think I'll ask if he knows any info about the person who gave the information about the freighter. If any chance that there's a superior maybe slipped a name or how they got it.
I have no idea. I was taking orders, man. Maybe the squadron leader knew more.
Is he telling the truth?
Huh? He is. He wasn't privy to much information.
Okay.
Does the squadron leader have a name, kid?
Yibu Jazzes.
Tap my finger on the data pad. He's here. We should question him next. She's here. We should question her next.
Exactly.
Kid, you've been useful. I think you might see yourself walk away from this one. I tap on the door, open it up, and ask the security guy. Can't remember his name. You could take this away, and it would be great if we could have Yibu Jazzes next.
All right. And he's Commander Mitchell.
Doc, maybe this one, when Jazzes walks in, maybe tell them something's wrong. Lie to them. See if we can get them worried.
You mean medically, or?
Yep.
Okay, I'll do my best.
Might be hard because they are violent.
After a few moments, Bajoran and female with dark horsehair that's buzzed short to her skull is brought in.
Hello, my name's Dr. Bog. I just want to check you over real quick, make sure that everything's okay. I know you've been held for a while. Just want to make sure that there's no issues. I'll go ahead and fire up the tricorder.
The only issue is that I'm being held against my will by an enemy state.
Okay, well, perhaps we can get that sorted out. And I'd just like to check you physically today. So I'll go ahead and kick over the scanner.
Yep.
Medicine?
Yep, reason medicine.
Does the tricorder reduce my difficulty by 1?
It allows you to do the scan in the first place. Otherwise, you're doing this manually.
Gotcha. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You do complete the scan, and the entire time, he's spouting off. I don't need help from no alien doctor. Very, very, very aggressive language.
Okay, I understand. Well, I appreciate your viewpoint here. However, I am detecting some problems with your heart that we may need to take a look at. I'm seeing some problems that could cause issues. Mr. Knight, I'd take it easy on this one.
Are they going to make it through an interrogation, Doc?
Well, I think so. I'll continue to scan and I'll watch for any issues that might pop up with her heart. I'll flag you if there's a problem.
Let's go ahead and make this presence medicine and difficulty 2 task. Knight, you can assist with presence security to kind of set up this advantage of an excuse for the doctor to be monitoring her.
I was hoping that maybe I could use command, because as it was kind of like my suggestion to do this. Wait,
Yeah,
is it
I
command?
can. Yeah,
Ignore me.
that sounds.
It's fine. I'll use security presence. Ignore me. I thought I had something
Yep.
else.
Yeah. Would you allow Diablo to assist? Because their presence security is higher than yours.
I would allow it, yes.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and spend a momentum to get an extra dice here, too. Nice. Get that back,
Dang.
don't we?
Yeah.
Getting all our good rolls over and done with.
All right, you're back up to full momentum. She acquiesces and allows Bog to stay there, tricorder in hand. Well, what do you want to know?
I hear you're the flight group leader.
I am. Best fighter pilot
Doing
we have.
Been doing that long?
Longer than and you smooth noses have been here.
Well, let me tell you something about your group. Your weapons can barely even hurt our ship. How do you think you're going to fight against an actual warship with the Cardassian leaving?
Well, I suppose if I tell you now, that'll spoil the surprise.
I would like to push further on that. I don't think you have a plan. I think that you guys are out of your depth, don't know what you're doing, and completely lost.
Oof. Present security difficulty 2, complication 2.
What's complication 2? Oh, I need to change the complication range up to 2? Got it.
Yep, change the complication range up to 2. I spent threat to make that happen.
Yeah, it pretty much means that 19 and 20 will cause a complication.
Got it. Yeah, let's spend. What's our target range? 2? Did you say?
Difficulty
2.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and spend a momentum then to. Can I spend 2 momentum to grab a dice? 2 dice, sorry.
It's 1 momentum for the first, and then 2 momentum for the second.
Got it. Okay, I'll just buy 1 then, because I'm
Okay.
guessing I can have some help here from the empath. Still using interrogation techniques, so let's do this.
Deb
take
can
that.
and assist. And you have 1 float. Would you like to do anything with that?
I am probably going to want to ask additional questions based on what they give us, if that's okay to use that for that.
Yep. We'll just hang on to that as her initial.
Quick question: Is the float? Could he make that an advantage that she's breaking down? and more likely to tell us information?
Yes, let's do that. Let's start to give her some heart palpitations if we can do that. Like, let's start to make her nervous about that whole heart problem.
For 2 momentum, I will allow that.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Yes. She is.
Knight, Lieutenant Knight. I'm detecting some palpitations in her cardiac rhythm here. I'm not sure if that's nervous because you've gotten close to something that she doesn't want to reveal, or if it's her condition. So I'm going to have to watch this closely.
I'm going to turn around to the doctor and wink at him and then go, I don't care about her health conditions. Only tell me if she's about to pass out or die. That's the only time I want to know.
Okay. But the responsibility for this patient is on you at this point.
That's okay. We got plenty of other prisoners. Tell me, answer my damn question. What
I'm not
is your
exactly.
plan?
I'm not exactly a ringleader here. I'm just middle management.
Middle management knows things. Tell me everything you know.
And he grabs her head. Can I get some water?
Sure. Tell me what you know.
My mouth's really dry.
I look over at the doctor just to check she is okay.
She's not dying yet.
Keep talking.
I was, as part of a strike squadron, we were given data drops of ship name, aim, and ship locations. We were told to hit them and make things hairy.
I'm gonna again slam down on the table in front of her, really try and get in her face, really try and intimidate and be. That can't be all you know. You're holding back from me.
I'm going to turn to the security that's from Deep Space Nine, and I'm going to, I don't know what the name of the cardiac drug is, but I'm going to say, will you go get me a 3 milligrams of cortisone? I don't think it's cortisine. I'd like to have that ready. Just kind of as a side thing behind him after that.
Meanwhile, Knight, give me a really quick insight medicine and roll difficulty 2.
You want me to roll insight medicine?
You.
Difficulty 2. All right, let's buy another dice then, because this is not going to go well.
You can also give him. You can also give him a threat to get another dice as well.
Yeah, let's. Let's give him 1 threat and then spend 2 of our momentum to get me another dice.
All right, we could do that. So you'd be rolling 4 dice on this.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, this is just to notice if you notice something. All right, so.
She's actually having a heart attack.
Oof. Yes, you said difficulty 2, right? Just.
Yep, you just made it. This is weird. Her breath smells like ozone. That really sharp metallic taste.
Should I know what ozone is? Forgive my ignorance. Do you mean like?
Yeah, like ozone in the atmosphere, air. It's a very sharp metallic, like smell. You can get it sometimes from like burning electronics, or causing sparks. That smell. It's coming from her face. As you lean into her face, you suddenly catch a whiff of it.
I'm going to turn around and walk to the doctor, whisper this into his ear to tell him this information, ask him to see if he can scan any closer on that. See if we can find out what that's about.
Does this sound like a condition that I would be familiar with? I mean, like diabetics, you get a keto smell when they are going into diabetic ketosis, but ozone, that's a new one on me.
That is very much a new one. Off the top of your head, without actually looking anything up, it would be Reason Medicine difficulty 4.
Oh.
Otherwise, you could just scan her.
Well, I'll scan her. Also, I mean, is it going to be with the tricorder? Is that still Reason Medicine, or is it a Presence Medicine?
If you're scanning her Reason Medicine, you're not sure what you are looking for, so this is difficulty 3.
Okay, I've got a couple things here. I do have infectious disease as a focus. Would that help? Or biology or xenobiology? Any of those going to help me as a focus? First of all,
in biology, just to get a. Or xenobiology, a baseline of, okay, well, here's how Bajorans are supposed to work. What's going wrong here?
Okay, and help me again on the values if I wanted to use the value improvisation under pressure here to figure out what's going on. What does that do for me?
You get to spend a dedication by using a value. That means spending a dedication.
Which gives me an automatic success, is that right?
It gives you an automatic, it gives you 1 dice that automatically rolls a 1, so you gain 2 successes.
Okay. I want to use that if that's possible.
What are some of your other values?
The drive to heal and save lives, values friendship, and outdoorsman.
Drive to heal and save lives I will accept.
Okay.
As you're trying to figure out, that's weird. What's this about?
Okay. I'll use that, and so let's see. That's gonna. I'll go ahead and spend a. Let's see. I've already got 2 automatic successes.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Then I'll just go ahead and roll straight out here. Because you did say difficulty 3, right?
Difficulty 3, and there's your 3. As you take a closer look at her, you realize she's in a stressful situation. Most mammals would be perspirating at this point. She has dry skin, almost clammy.
She's dehydrated.
That also explains the asking for water.
Yeah. Okay. We better.
But also, in opposition to dehydration, normally your blood pressure kind of goes down. Her blood pressure is spiking. It is extraordinarily high.
Okay. And what I understand from this roll, what is causing that?
You get the impression that there might be some sort of infectious disease going on, and this might be side effects of some sort of infection.
Okay, but I don't recognize what it is.
It doesn't ring any bells. It might be a
Computer, activate biocontainment force field on this room. Authorization, Dr. Bog.
And a force field snaps in place, and over the intercom, the commander Mitchell says, "The biofield's is kicked on. Is everything okay?"
Well, I'm not sure yet. Can you call the is it Bashir?
Yes, it would be Dr. Bashir.
Please put a call in for Dr. Bashir if he's here. Mr. Knight, I'm detecting something here that could be an infectious disease that I'm not familiar with. I'm not sure if we're infected, but I don't want it to leave here until we figure out what's going on.
And at that point, her she opens her mouth to speak, and she's struggling with it, and just and she starts panicking and clawing at her face and pulling on her ear.
All right. I'm assuming I have my med kit with me.
You would have your med kit on you, yes.
All right. I'm gonna give. Let's see here. What's the good drug that we can do here?
The night juice.
Well, something to help her breathe for one. I want to make sure she's breathing okay. Airway first. ABCs.
ABCs.
I give her a triox compound initially.
Okay. In order to get it at her, because she's flailing around all over the place, and she's knocked the table over or in her panic. This is going to be a control medicine and difficulty 3.
Okay, first of all, Dr. Boggs not going to step into that mess. He's going to look at Mr. Knight, who has the skills to restrain somebody, and say, "Can you hold her, please?"
Full Nelson.
Yeah.
Okay. To get her enough full Nelson. Daring security difficulty 2, and that will reduce the difficulty to get her with a hypo spray.
Daiba will assist with the restraint.
Yep.
She has ground combat or team dynamics.
I'll take either of those.
Let's do ground combat, and what's the comp range? 1?
Comp range is 2. Difficulty is 2.
Okay, you go Knight, and then I'll do the assist.
Yeah, my character has like a martial arts skill.
Yep,
So
that'll
I'll
work.
use that as my focus, if that's okay.
Yep.
Straight up going to Bruce Lee her.
One punch. Very quickly you restrain her. She's not fighting back so well anymore, as she's pretty much in a pure state of panic.
Alright, so-
and now, Doctor, this will just be a control medicine and difficulty 1, and this is just to set up the hypo spray right and get it on that vein.
Okay. And that gives us an extra momentum there, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to follow up immediately with Lectrazine, which is to stabilize a humanoid, cardiovascular, and renal system.
Ooh, that actually, yeah. For 1 momentum, I'll allow that to be a follow-up.
Okay. Do I need to roll that again, or is the spend on the momentum do it?
The momentum spend will do it.
Okay.
That is actually a really good call, as that helps stabilize her cardiovascular system. She's breathing okay. It just looks like her jaw is just not working.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna wait to see if the base medical wants to transport to a sick bay where they can set up a biofield, or if they want us to stay here at this point.
Base medicine is going to set up a quarantine zone and transport the 4 of you out.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
yeah, so we better let the captain know that we be infected. It's the COVID's got us.
oh, this is much worse than COVID.
Oh no, they got the Kovac.
All right. Will one of you want to inform the captain? either the doctor or Lieutenant Knight.
Probably could give him a minute to kind of ascend himself.
Trying to get control over here. That tickled me pretty bad. All right, Dr. Bog to the Svalinn.
Commander Calder, you can answer.
What's up, Doc?
Dude, are you trying to kill me tonight or what?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Commander, we have encountered some sort of infectious disease here. That's infected one of the subjects that we were interrogating. Unfortunately, Mr. Knight and I'm sorry, who was the other one with us?
Diva.
And Lieutenant or Ensign?
Ensign
Diva and myself are potentially infected. We're currently waiting to be transported to Deep Space Nine sick bay, and hopefully we'll be able to get some more minds on this and get it figured out.
Okay, understood.
And with that, very quickly, the four of you are beamed out of the scene and into a quarantine. Meanwhile, back on the ship, Maddox and Maldon, you are in the shuttle bay with this Bajoran fighter. So yeah, you have this as fighter in the shuttle bay. You could take it apart, look more at how it's been upgraded. You could check registry numbers or check the flight computer. How would you want to go about this?
Mr. Maldon, how do you want to approach this? Would you like to split up or work on the same idea, the same pace at a time?
Is Kithik with us? Oh, looks like he's having.
Mic problems,
Discord.
maybe.
Yep, Discord issue.
Have you tried? If you still can't speak, try going into your settings and flick your output or input, put back and forth.
Oh my goodness, I'm just gonna use my phone.
There you are.
Now we can hear you.
Yeah, my computer's, I don't know why it's having this conniption, but I can't get Discord to work on it for whatever reason just today. Anyway, considering the importance of what we're dealing with, maybe it would be best if we just focused our attention on one thing at a time. Both eyes on it.
Agreed. Computers first, perhaps?
Yes, sounds like a great idea to me.
Excellent.
All right. What would you like to look in the flight computer for?
Flight logs, registry, maybe any special modifications.
Okay. That sounds like 3 separate things, so let's make this as an extended task. No. Extended task.
Let's
there
go
we
ahead
go.
and throw communications logs in there while we're at it.
Sounds good. So we are looking for 4 different things: communications and flight record. Let me make sure I write this down. So we need communication logs, registry, flight records, and modifications. And
Can you think of anything else, Mr. Meldon?
Nope, that sounds like everything I can think of at the moment.
all right. And 4 times. All right, this is going to be a pretty big egg project. We are looking at difficulty 2. It's not that hard to do. This is pretty standard procedure, but since you're trying to plumb so much information out of it, it's going to be magnitude 4, and we're looking at a work track of 17.
Yeah, that'll take a minute.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while. It's not too difficult. It's just that there's a lot of information to plumb through. No, wrong button. That one. Yeah, a little resistance because this is kind of an old beat up craft. And the task we're going to be rolling is control plus NG or con. All right. That is the task asked before you. And one can be the primary, one can assist. And the ship can also assist as well with computers engineering.
Computers engineering, you said?
Correct.
I'll grab that.
All right, I'll take lead.
So how exactly does assisting work on my part?
You would use control in either engineering or con, but you're only going to be rolling 1 dice.
Yeah. Also look. Also look through the list of focuses you have and see which one would make sense for that, and tell the GM to see if it actually would work. And if so, tend the focus to yes.
Do you see
Yes.
the dice roller there also?
Yes, I see the dice roller. I'm
Okay,
assuming
alright.
that task roll is how many dice I'm rolling.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Any focuses we want to throw at this?
Starship Computer Systems.
That will work.
Looks like Meldon's first focus seems like a perfect fit.
What's his first focus?
I'll let him say it because it is his sheet.
We talking about me?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, small craft.
Absolutely. That would totally work.
All right, perfect.
All right. Would you like to buy any additional dice, Maddox?
Yes, I would like to purchase one extra die for one momentum.
All right. And
this
now-
was a complication range of 2, or
Complication range of 1. It's standard 1 unless I say otherwise. And the ship. As Maddox is definitely earning his pay this week. All right, and go ahead and roll me 7 challenge dice. Nice, Maddox and Malden. You can roll 1 challenge dice for assisting.
When you put in your number, press enter to confirm it.
Woo! As you're just going gangbusters on this, you do get one. You do get 1 breakthrough on that. And reduce the magnitude by 1. And I'm gonna roll a d4. Okay, this is easy. The ship is registered as no longer are active. It does have a serial number. This was a standard patrol craft that was decommissioned and on Stardate 53E700 Mark 5. Former or registered owner was the Bajoran Republic. Current owner is non-decommissioned.
I'll instantly relay that information to the commander.
Would you like to spend momentum for any extra information regarding the ship's registry?
No, I think that pretty much will clear it up.
I might have one. Where was it at when it's decommissioned? Where was it supposed to be stored?
The ship itself doesn't know that, but you could go to the ship's computer. This is going to be a Reason con roll difficulty E2. With the ship assisting with if computers con. So I actually should be writing these out more. Maldon, you can take that yourself if you want to take the initiative and ask the computer.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. And the computer's con for the ship. All right, you do got it, but there is a complication there. Do you wish to spend 2 momentum to quash that, or am I just gonna have fun with it?
Don't be scared to spend the momentum.
All right. Sure, let's spend the momentum then.
All right.
Don't be scared to let the GM have fun either, though.
Yeah, but he can be ultra evil at times.
Digging through some records, some very boring records on Bajor computer systems. You find out that it was decommissioned at the Durna Celestial Junkyard. And you would know instantly that Durna is a Class D moon of Bajor. So it's the 4th moon of the Bajor Prime. And there's various industrial sites along that place. One of them presumably is Junkyard. Any additional information you would like to ask?
That's all I can think of along this questioning path.
All right. Let's do our next roll then. Control engineering in difficulty 1 this time.
Okay, I will spend 1 momentum for 1 extra die.
All right. Goodness. And the ship can help with if computers con. Oh, yeah, I have to actually tell that to go to a player. You're all filled up on momentum, and you have 1 float. But we could use that float for the challenge dice roll. So let's go ahead. 7 challenge dice from Maddox and 1 challenge dice from Maldon.
We still didn't get the ship roll in, did we?
No, we haven't.
I thought we... Oh, okay. Yeah, someone could click that real quick.
I got it. Computer comm.
Yep. Okay,
Definitely
so
float.
Wow.
3 float.
Oh my gosh.
So, all the information.
Alright, I want to use 1 momentum to re-roll those 2.
All right. One, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10. Goodness.
Could I burn a momentum to get piercing on the effects?
Yes. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. That's like 10 altogether.
Yep, that is 10 work.
As you completely crack this as computer open, so you actually get 2 information or 2 bits of information, and the next roll it will be a difficulty 0. So 2 of these. Re-rolling the 4 because we already did that one. There we go. 1 and 3. Communication logs. There is some communication, and just before the attack, basic coordination. I'm here. Let's do this, Leroy Jenkins, and type stuff. There is communication with another aircraft, a larger vessel that you did not see on the scene. The registry for that ship was the Junkrat. Any additional information you want to gain on the communication logs? Would you like to go further back, ask more information?
Yeah, let's go a little further back.
Okay.
Specifically, see if there's a trend of this Junkrat showing up with the communications logs.
Scrolling further back in the communication logs, there appears to be about 2 hours before the fight. There was communication with a Junkrat at CIC. He's saying, I'm ready for launch. We're in position. And then communication logs go dark, and there's no information for several days almost. Then it starts up again, and Junkrat, says fighter 4 ready for launch. Goes to launch, does appears to get into formation, does a skirmish, seems to hit another ship. That run seems to be successful. Then the fighters seem to swarm back to the mothership. Goes dark for a couple days. Then there's another skirmish, goes dark for a couple days, and yeah, that repeats. Is for going back about a couple weeks. A month ago, the skirmishes seem to be more dogfighting, and there's talks of an asteroid field, and it seems to be rough training exercises. And there's a lot of screaming of, no, you're doing it wrong, you're gonna get yourself killed. And yeah, scrolling back that far, that'll be one momentum.
I'll download all that into a pad.
Okay. And then for, let's see, communications, and then 3 was modifications. This has the stock phaser array that the fighters have. It does have a warp drive that appears to be aftermarket.
Can I identify the technology? Like, is it Romulan, Klingon, Federation, etc.?
For one momentum, yes.
Make it so.
All right. The technology for this is modification, and it is a civilian Federation core. Very, very recent. Basically, they kind of came into the market saying, hey, you like these fighters, these are our personal craft now, they're kind of fun to fly, and this allows you to add warp capabilities to them so you can fly around a star system. Their max rated speed is warp 4, but you know, that could get you around a star system pretty well. You can go to the next star system over a couple hours if you really wanted to, but that's stretching it. But yeah, it's just like a civilian mod package that anyone could get if they have a Bajoran fighter they want to make warp capable. It's perfectly legal.
Yeah, I'll log that in the pad as well.
Any additional information about the modifications?
Mr. Maldon, do you have any suggestions?
Does the ship have any information about when these modifications were installed? Do we have a time frame on that?
That's a good question. For one momentum, I'll answer that.
Well, considering that it's a good question, I think we're safe in saying it's worth it.
I concur.
The modifications seem to have been put in. There had to be like an IO upgrade to tell the computer systems, hey, you have a warp drive now. You should probably have an interface in order to control the warp drive. That interface was installed into the computer system about 6 months prior. And note on the Stardate, that Stardate is approximately 2 years old. So the timeline is this shuttle was decommissioned. It was sitting in the Dinar junkyard for about 18 months, and then suddenly it has a warp drive installed.
Okay. No other questions.
Excellent. Yeah. Now you just need one more breakthrough. Control engineering difficulty 0 at this point. Just to scrape that last bit of information out of it.
I think I will go with no momentum on this one.
Excellent.
How do I set the difficulty to 0 in the dice roller?
Difficulty E is just the number you have to hit. So if it's a difficulty E0, any successes would and make it. So you would just be rolling one dice. Yeah.
Alright.
You still roll the same number of dice. But unfortunately, Maddox was the primary roller and he did not get any successes. So you
Well, it was difficulty 0 and I rolled 2 zeros, so I got it.
Yeah, you have to get at least one success in order for assistance to come
sorry,
in.
I couldn't resist.
Good try though. Yeah, as you just kind of get caught up on the modifications and figuring out how it was as drafted in, how they actually like cut the hull to install nacelles on this, you kind of got caught up on that, and that wasted it about a good couple hours of time. So the day has moved on. You try one more roll.
I'll take the momentum this time.
All right.
I mean, don't you have cautious, which allows you to wiggle dice?
Yeah, but I have to burn a momentum to use it.
Yep.
Whoops, might be.
We can move up the time frame on being done.
If you use a momentum, though, we're going to get it back because it doesn't matter.
Yep. As you gained all that back, you do have one float for 2 momentum. I will say that in the time you wasted and the 2 momentum made up. So you're still keeping your timetable. Your original estimate, it holds.
Yeah, Maddox is probably cussing under his breath.
All right.
As you just happy to be working.
Yep, as you've made up lost time, and the final flight records. For this, we're gonna go to a new map. Oops, that's the Bajoran system. I want the Bajoran sector. There we go. And the silence is deafening. All right, so here's the map of the Bajoran sector. And I can get some tokens here. You're in orbit of the Bajoran system in the lower corner. This yellow line here is the current border between Cardassia and the Federation. Up north you have the Badlands. This system is Prophet's Landing. The Cardassian system just across the border. And a couple other interesting systems that's about. So, obviously you have the one skirmish that was right here, that was just a day ago. Then it stops and goes here, and then it stops again and appears over here. How far back do you want to go on these flight log?
I figured we'd go back probably about 6 months since the ship was taken from the junkyards.
Okay. One momentum to scroll back that far.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Yeah. Various skirmishes is all over the place, and the same pattern of it flies for a little bit, kind of stays in the same aim sector. As you see, one of these squares is 200,000 as in cubic AUs. It was really hard to scale this correctly. But they generally stay within one square on this map, and then the flight log turns off, presumably because the ship docks and is moved elsewhere. Pops here, pops there, wait a few days, pops somewhere else, wait a few days, pops somewhere else. And then about a month ago there was lots of flights. Where was it? Right about here, right at the border. And that was about when, about a month ago. It was brought out. They appeared to do some stress tests with it, some training. For about 2 months, and then the record goes dark. I'm explaining this backwards. So they did it about a month of stress tests. Then they did some training. Then they did some training in it for about a month or two, and then for the past month, they've been doing the raids every couple days. So you have about 4 months of flight records, and then pitch black. The computer wasn't even on from 4 months ago up to 6 months ago.
I will record all this onto a pad.
All right. Any additional information?
So I don't have a question for the ship per se, but I do have a question. Is there any way to sort of check, I don't know, some sort of like news outlet and see if we can find anything that matches up with the time frame of these skirmishes and where?
Yeah, you can tie into a local news network. What exactly are you looking for? Are you looking just at the timestamps, or are you asking for a specific theme of events?
Well, definitely timestamps. That'll be part of it. And then I'd kind of look at the logs on the ship. You know, the crosstalk between ships, like if there's anything like, all right, fire away, and if there's any sort of indication of fire on that ship or fire on, you know, something more specific, I'll use those pieces of information to then narrow it down. So if I have in the log fire on that cruiser or something, then I would look for cruiser sustains damage, the timestamp, and the destination.
Okay. Yeah. That's kind of a lot of information, and you're looking over a time span and of a month. Reason and con or commands. Let's make this as difficulty 4. That's a lot of information, and you're trying to pull off. So, first things first, do you have a focus you would like to use?
Would flight control systems be applicable?
Not at looking at news outlets.
Okay. Then interstellar navigation or sensor imaging are the only things that might apply.
I'll take interstellar navigation at complication 2, because being a brief of what's going on in interstellar space is kind of part of your job.
Right.
So you would click focus yes and set complication to 2.
Okay.
Would you like to purchase additional dice? We have 4 momentum on the table,
Yeah.
and there's an infinite amount of threat.
I would love to purchase a dice for momentum.
Okay. Just 1 dice, or would you like to purchase 2 dice?
Oh man, I'd love to get this right. This might have some juicy information, so we might as well go for 2.
Okay. You do have bold. I believe you have bold con, correct? As a talent?
Yes, I do. Okay.
Yes. That means that if you purchase a dice with a threat, you can re-roll a dice if it comes up with something you don't like.
Okay.
Would you like to do that?
Hey, speaking of talents, is he using a terminal?
He would be using a terminal, correct?
So another of his talents activates too.
Which talent is that?
All fingers and thumbs.
And what does that do? If someone could read that to me.
When you succeed a task using a computer console, including a bridge station, you gain 1 bonus momentum. This bonus momentum cannot be saved into the group pool.
Okay, so you can use that to gain additional information. Good to know. All right, so we're gonna add 1 to threat, take 2 momentum away, and you can now roll up to 4 dice of reason con with a focus. And also the ship's computers con would help.
All right.
You do get one reroll.
So, am I re-rolling all 4 dice or just one?
With rerolls, you just get one.
Okay. And the complication range stays the same?
Yes.
Yeah, pick which dice want to we. Oh, okay.
I'm assuming you want to reroll the complication.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and with rerolls, you can and choose which dice you want to pick up on reroll. So.
Okay.
And the ship.
I can do the ship. What was the ship again?
Computers con.
Computers con. That was worthless.
I can allow you to succeed at cost.
What does that mean?
That means I can allow the task roll to succeed. It's just that something else happens and alongside it.
I'll leave that to the captain.
What's going on that requires my captaining this?
We could succeed at this task at cost. Do you wish to succeed at cost?
You know what? I'm going to give Maldon my determination and allow him to reroll.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. You can totally be in communication with them.
Yeah, so reroll your entire pool.
Ooh.
You can
Maldon.
reroll. You can reroll your entire pool. But first, you have an extra point of determination. Which value do you want to call upon to help get you through this situation?
Oh yeah, the captain signs the paperwork.
Now let me
Boy,
roll.
eager to please me. Both will work.
Yeah.
Yep, that'll work. You can reroll as many as your dice as you wish. You can leave the ones there and reroll one, or you could do the entire roll all over again and roll 4. Try to get a crit.
And to get my
I'm gonna go
determination
ahead.
back.
I am gonna go ahead and as fun as a crit would be, I just want to succeed. So I think I'm just gonna re-roll that last one.
All right,
That is a 0.
go ahead.
Nice.
With the a little pep talk you got from the captain, you managed to push through this mountain of information. And indeed, there is a matchup between news reports of either severely damaged ships or even just flat out missing ships and what these fighters have attacked.
Okay, pushing that through to the captain.
For your one, and also because you bought extra dice with momentum, go ahead and roll 1 challenge dice to see if you generate any extra with untapped potential. 1 extra. And you also have 1 float from All Fingers and Thumbs. Any additional information you want to know?
Nope. I pretty much thought of everything I wanted to ask when I drew up the parameters in the first place, so. That's all I can think of.
Good work, Lieutenant.
Yes, there does seem to be a matchup of these fighters were attacking, and sometimes destroying, sometimes only severely damaging some freighters in the system.
All right, pushing that information through to the captain.
All right. Captain, you appear to have a mountain of information and at your desk as Meldon and Maddox X have tore apart this shuttlecraft and gotten all sorts of information from it.
Okay, I'll thank them for their hard work. And if I recall, I have a list of pads I have to look through.
Yeah, pretty much. And was there any follow-up that you wanted to do? Why don't I have a minimize button on this?
What are my options again?
I'm going to give you all the information and some info dumps.
Yay!
Yay, info dumps. Alright, so that is all the information from the Bajoran fighter craft. And that should be the information from the fighters and the security team. And that is literally all the information I've given out. So,
Yeah, don't forget about the modification of the green jammer.
Yes. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, the brain jammer was put in at the same time as the warp drive, with the exact same idea.
Oh yeah, I forgot I had to remind you of that.
All right. It is at. Yep. So you are like waist deep in information here, and that is when you get a hail.
I pick it up.
A young-looking Cardassian and appears on the screen. He's in civilian clothes, but well dressed. Yes. Hello. Oh, I'm assuming that you are the commander of the Svalinn.
Yes, I am. I am Commander Calder.
Greetings. I am Ambassador Rel. I've heard that you've ran into some difficulties. Lately? Is everything alright on your end?
We're dealing with a security problem that might happen. well, a potential security problem when you reach here. While we were here, we found fighters that were attacking fighters that were on the way to bring relief efforts to Cardassia.
Yes. This seems to be a small squadron of frankly upset Bajorans. But we've been hearing reports of this as for a month. From what I understand, they are disorganized and scattered our defense. Do you really think that at these small strike craft could be a problem for a Federation vessel, such as yourself or the Roosevelt?
Well, from my investigations, I think they have vessels that could pose a problem against us.
You think or you know?
We think we none of these fighters we're on a ship that could carry them all. So it's large enough to carry the squadron. And probably more.
Well, I want to impress on you the importance of this treaty and this consulate that we are to open on Deep Space Nine. I have been working tirelessly for us to get to this event for the past year, and the thought of postponing it would be troublesome on many fronts. So I wish to impress on you your duty and valor as a Starfleet officer, to make sure that nothing happens at this event.
Don't worry, we are given our all to try and prevent any problems for your arrival.
Very well. I'll await to see you in person in what I assume to be a smooth and celebratory event. Ambassador Rel out. And he closes the con.
I think I have an idea to find someone who knows to give the salary of the Svalinn local jammers.
Oh. And who idea is that?
A certain someone on DS9.
Oh, don't play coy. To whom are you talking?
Quark. I'm talking about Quark.
Excellent. All right. As the captain makes his way into Quark's bar.
But first, I'm going to check on the interrogation group because
yes. Last you heard, they were in quarantine. Yep.
Are we rubbing that jello stuff over our bodies like they do in Enterprise Episode 1?
No, we've advanced past jelly.
Damn it.
As Doctor, you are in a quarantine room. It is yourself and... Ooh. Hold on. It is yourself, Lieutenant Knight, Ensign, and Val, and this Bajoran woman who is not having a good day. And Julian Bashir is on the other side of the force field, and he's like, well, thank goodness that there's a doctor inside either with them. I'm sorry that you found yourself in this situation, but I would definitely appreciate your hands-on approach. Perhaps together we can find out what's going on with this person.
Yes, I think we'd better do it sooner than later. I feel like her condition is at this point critical. Initially, it looked like maybe she was just dehydrated, but she's spiraled down quite rapidly, so we need to move quickly.
Yes, there is a biobed in there. If you can do a thorough medical scan, and on there I will run through my records and see if I can find anything.
Okay. Mr. Knight, help me get her on the table, please.
You got it.
What do you want me to roll?
To do as thorough as a medical scan as possible, you actually get the help of Deep Space Nine. Guest star. So, Sensors Medicine on Deep Space Nine, and you're going to be rolling a Reason Medicine difficulty 4 to just fully go through her body, inch by inch almost. Just scan the heck out of her.
Okay. Could I use improvisation under pressure here? It's related to medical situations, and I'm definitely under pressure here, and I don't know what's going on, so I'm having to kind of improvise.
Yeah, I will actually allow that. You have to fire.
Okay. That gives me 2 automatic, is that right?
Yep, 2 automatic successes.
I'll go ahead and spend a threat and momentum for the 2 extra dice. Is that right? Did I say that right?
You actually already have one extra dice. So to get because the determination is a dice that you just set down as 1. To get an extra dice, it would be 2 momentum. So 1 momentum, 1 threat. In this case, to roll 3 dice in your roller.
Okay. All right, and infectious disease should give me my focus.
Absolutely.
All right, and it's just difficulty 4?
Yep, difficulty 4, no complications.
All right, can I use the Deep Space Nine to reduce the difficulty, or my bio bit or something?
Yeah, using the biobed will reduce the difficulty by 1.
Okay, cool. All right, here we go. I got 2. Someone needs to roll Deep Space Nine for me. Here we
And
go.
that is 5 altogether, so you gain 1 back.
Oh yeah, I got the 2 automatic. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yep, 2 automatic with your determination spend.
Okay.
And going system by system, you find out that she has blurred vision from extra fluid, lockjaw, swelling of the joints, high blood pressure, but her mouth and skin is clammy and dry. In fact, going over her eyes, it looks like her eyes are dry as well. That it seems to be causing some of her blurred vision, almost as if if all the moisture that is possibly available is getting sucked into the cardiovascular system.
Okay. I'll relay that to Dr. Bashir and basically say I'm concerned about cardiac tamponade with the fluid buildup around the heart. We may need to draw some of this fluid off, but at the same time keep her bolused with IV fluids to make sure that she doesn't dehydrate the rest of her system.
I'm concerned about what's causing the fluid retention in the first place. Ace, do you think that drawing the fluid out and replacing it would just be turning her into a variable filter for the body fluids?
Well, we certainly need to figure out why the fluids are acting this way in her body. We can't let part of her body not get fluid. So I'm afraid we're going to have to continue to push fluids on her and just draw off the excess. I'm hoping that when we draw off the excess, we'll be able to examine that and determine what is the pathogen that's causing this.
Very well. I'll. There should be a replicator or around that corner there that you can use.
Okay. I'll get her set up and basically we'll draw some of that off and we'll start. I'll also take a blood sample and basically we'll start the analysis on what's going on with her, as far as the pathogen itself.
Okay. Let's think here. To start drawing off the pathogen, or start drawing off the excess fluid around her heart. Let's do a control medicine difficulty E2, brought down to 1 with the biobed.
Say that should be a fairly simple process there.
Mm-hmm.
We do that in this centuries routinely.
Yep. And we're not even gonna roll to give her an IV. That should be absolute bog standard.
Yeah.
All right, so you got her all set up. Essentially it's like Bashir said, it's kind of this weird filter system as you're giving her fluids, but you're also drawing off extra fluid from one location to another.
Okay. Am I able to detect the pathogen in the fluids that I've taken from her in the blood or the blood?
To run an analysis, yes, reason and medicine. This is quite unknown and possibly outside of expertise.
Okay.
Difficulty E4. What procedures are you using to handle the blood?
Okay, let me ask you. I guess I thought our first difficulty 4 was to actually identify the pathogen anyway. Was that not what that was for?
That was just us to identify either. Oh, yeah. That was just to identify the symptoms. Now we're actually trying to isolate the pathogen.
Okay, I got you. First was to just determine what was going wrong with their body. I got you.
Yep, what was going on wrong with the body. Now you're trying to isolate the pathogen and kind of figure out, oh, this is a little bugger. This is how it's affecting our systems. Now we should be able to figure out how to treat this.
Well, as far as how I'm going to take care of myself, I'm going to use full biocontainment protocol because I don't want to get this sticky stuff. So I was taught as an EMT, if it's wet and sticky and not yours, you don't touch it.
All right. So similar procedures errors here.
Yeah.
Would you like to use any of the tech to help out? Suppressor fields, biocontainment fields, sanitary fields.
The sanitary and biofield for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Give me just a minute. My wireless earphones are going dead. I'm just gonna make a quick switch. Give me a moment.
All right. Night and Deba, you're kind of just standing in the corner, or kind of unsure how to help, and I don't know how are you dealing with this situation, Knight?
I'm picking up the tricorder and just scanning it over myself, and already knowing what I'm doing because I'm terrible at medicine. I had a heart.
Yep, you can find the heart. Reason medicine difficulty 1, Knight.
Knight, you've got the tricorder upside down.
Reason medicine, you said.
Yes.
Sorry, that was difficulty 2, but it doesn't matter anyway.
Wow, you actually got really good at this.
I wasted that roll on this.
Yes, you got a nat 1 on this.
That's great.
Which is really good because that shoulder that was doing really well, it's kind of hurting again, but it's a different kind of hurt from a sprained tendon. It's kind of a dull ache in the shoulder, and it's kind of working its way down your arm.
I have one question.
Yes.
How did I roll a nat 1 and get worse in condition, GM?
Was she the reason for the strained shoulder?
No.
GM, how did I roll a nat 1 and get worse in condition?
You got a nat 1, which means you noticed the condition.
We're able to scan for it.
You're able to scan for it. And you do have some weird aired fluid buildup up in the joints of your arm.
Oh, great. That's not good.
And you look.
Should this be doing this?
You look over your hands and you realize you have a small bite mark, probably from your scuffle.
Is it like a human bite kind of? I mean, or a Bajoran bite?
Yeah, it's a Bajoran bite. Just like as she was flailing about out, she must have managed to scratch him with her teeth or something.
And the issue that's going on my arm is going out from that spot?
Yep. It's going out from that spot, and it's kind of radiating up your arm.
Dark.
I see. We'll get this figured out. For now, sit down over here. I want to get you scanned also. And I'm going to focus on finishing my task here with the fluids that I've pulled off our Bajoran here at this point. And you say that was going to be a difficulty 4?
Correct.
Okay, let me see what I need to do here.
Well, I think you should have some momentum now, right? So
Yeah,
You do have 3 momentum, so you could buy up to 2 dice.
just looking to see Okay, is part of the difficulty here from my unfamiliarity?
Yes, this is a disease you're not familiar with.
All right, I'm going to use my talent Quick Study, which means I have to spend a threat, correct?
I am not sure. Let me...
It says when attempting a task that will involve an unfamiliar medical procedure, which is to treat an unfamiliar species, ignore any difficulty increases stemming from your unfamiliarity.
Yeah, you don't need to spend anything. That would... Invoking that, your Quick Study, that will bring the difficulty down by 1, so it's now difficulty 3.
Okay. And then I'll spend the momentum to get the extra dice.
Just 1 extra dice, or...
No, I'm going to go for 4 here, because I've got a crewman involved, which is really concerning me, so I'm going to spend it right down. And then I'll be using all the assets that the Deep Space Nine can give me here.
Okay.
Doc, do you not have a determination or anything to help you to save my life, Doc?
Okay, so here's the deal.
Here's
the deal. I've spent my value, the drive to heal and save lives already, and improvised. If I spend it again, is that where I have to burn it completely?
Yeah. Or you can go through past episodes and say, I spent determination on this episode. I'm gonna burn a normal milestone to call upon the experiences of that episode.
Well, I do have a drive to heal and save lives milestone. That's from, I think, last episode, or 827 episode, I think, maybe. No, it's I've got it dated 9/10.
So yeah, that'd be last episode.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll allow that. So burn 1 milestone, and you can get an automatic success.
Okay, I'm still gonna spend for 4 dice here, though. Okay, because like I said, I'm really concerned that I've got a crewman involved now, and not to mention me. So, all right, there you go.
If you're spending, well, one moment. If you're spending the determination, the cost to buy the extra 2 dice goes up by 2. So 2 threat.
Okay. Yeah, I'll spend it. And then can I spend a threat to quash that complication?
Well, don't you have bold?
I do have bold, but since I spent threat, I can re-roll that, can't I?
You can re-roll that.
Okay. I'm getting there, guys. See, I'm learning. You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
For the station.
The station will help with computer's medicine.
So there's my re-roll. So fantastic.
Yep.
I'm loving that.
All right. As you analyze the molecular structure of this thing, so we have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on a difficulty 4. So, boom.
It was a difficulty 3. Wait a sec, difficulty 3 because of my Quick Study.
That is correct. Thank you.
So does that give me float?
You fill all the way back up. You're now at 6 momentum right now.
Okay.
And your initial analysis. This is a very strange aerobic microbe that probably didn't evolve in a M-class environment. It is anaerobic and it appears to actually consume, as part of its biological process, it consumes water and expels ozone as part of its waste process.
Okay.
And it appears...
I know what I need to do as far as stabilizing and getting rid of it then.
Yeah, because as of its weird alien protein structure, you now have a key. You can develop a... I'm trying to think. It's not quite a vaccine. It's more like an antiviral agent that will go through and target the protein shell of this as creature, this as pathogen, and break it down.
There you go.
So, yeah, you can make a medicine for it. Why am I making this complicated? You can make a medicine.
It's all right. I was taking it. I'm like, you go. Any additional information you want to know about this? Possible vectors. Possible vectors. Possible places of origin. I want to know how it's transmitted. Okay.
Okay.
Is it the
how
bite?
is trans?
9 points to his bite mark.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure it's not airborne.
It is not airborne, or it is fluid transmitted, and you have to get it fluid into your infected fluid into your bloodstream somehow.
Okay.
Or nasal passages.
Okay. So it's droplet dew. Okay. So
droplet dew. Yep.
Okay. So yeah, and origin. I'm going to try to track down where it came from.
Okay. As mentioned, and it definitely didn't grow up in any M-class environment, which is probably why it's so virulent, because it consumes water. So where it grew up, it didn't have water, and now it just found a wet meat bag and is gorging itself out.
Okay.
That's part of the problem here. So based on its biology, it does have a lot of radiation shielding built into it, and DNA fixer-uppers. So you're probably thinking this thing was exposed to the environment, exposed to space, exposed to direct UV starlight, and probably he grew up on some sort of asteroid.
Okay. Is it something that I think I can feed back to sensors so that we could track this down? I'm wondering, Mr. Knight, if this is something that would help us maybe locate the base of these folks?
Yeah, I can't see it won't hurt, I'm sure.
Okay. I'm going to log all of this and in the computer, and then also transfer it to a pad for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And
one more thing based on the vector that they're infected with, and the environment this thing grew up in. There's only very few places where a Bajoran without a spacesuit could encounter this thing, and that would have to be some sort of converted environment, some sort of asteroid or D-class moon that has been hollowed out, and you put an artificial environment in there. So that would definitely help limit your search.
Gotcha. All right, we'll log all that, and I'll get to inoculating some people here pretty quick, and I'll make sure we scan the rest of our captives there, our prisoners, detainees, to make sure none of them don't need to be inoculated as well.
All right. Big roll for the night. This is probably going to be control medicine difficulty E3. Because of the alien biology, complication 2.
Okay, can I use quick study again, or is that not possible?
You can use again? Yep, you can use quick study again.
Okay.
Because hey, new life form, new life form. Not quite new civilization, but new life form.
Okay, so we're down to a difficulty 2 then.
Correct.
And I'll go ahead and spend 3 momentum to get to 4. Is that right?
Yep, that would be correct.
Or you know what? I'll go ahead and spend 1 momentum and give you 1 threat. That way I can use my bold medicine to reroll if I need to. Is that how that works?
Yeah.
2 threat.
Oh, look at that.
Or we could use 2 threat or 1. We can use 2 threat, 1 momentum, or 1 momentum, 2 threat.
I just want to give you 1 threat. So what did you say? 2 momentum, 1 threat?
Yep.
Okay. All right. And I'm gonna have the ship systems help me to develop this. And can Bashir help as well? Can he throw down some mojo? Or is he just going to stand there and watch me be awesome?
Yeah, he'll help. He'll throw an assist dice in there.
Okay, thank you.
I don't actually have stats answer him right now, but let's ablet this.
Like, good gosh, man, are you just going to stand there or are you going to say something? All right, here we go. Oh, look at that roll!
This is
Nice!
the computer's medicine still, right?
Computer's medicine. And let's go with
Oh my god!
Have I just
my
got
God.
3 1s in a row? Fuck this.
yeah.
Next week is going to be terrible, guys. I'm sorry.
And this
Don't
is
get
what
into
Bashir-
combat next week.
All right,
yeah, you can fix that.
With the bold, is that how that works?
Bold only works on your dice, unfortunately.
All right, well, we'll quash that with momentum or whatever we need to do to get rid of
Yep.
Bashir. Bashir, you're an idiot.
What stats of Bashir's do you need?
Reason medicine.
11 and 5.
That's what I thought. 17. All right, but yeah, you now have you have 2 floats, so you can and quash that immediately.
All right, I'll just quash that immediately.
As Bashir kind of gets a little too complicated with his anti-viral technique, you're like, no man, just keep it simple. Just
Bashir, it's called the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid.
very much so. Plus, I feel that's in character for Bashir.
So when do I
About this time. Just as Dr. Bog has his eureka moment.
status report?
Sorry,
Doc,
give me
I
just a
think this
minute.
one's on you.
Yep. I just stuck a pizza roll in my face. Hang on. Sorry. Captain, I think we've got it under control here. I believe that this is also something that will help us track down where the Bajoran base may be, because it's very specific where this had to have come from, this pathogen. But we've got antiviral here, and we're getting control of the situation quickly. I do need to report that Lieutenant Junior. How do I? I'm sorry, out of character. Would I just call him Mr. Knight? Am I correct? And that's how we're
You can call him Mr. Knight or just Lieutenant Knight. Lieutenant Junior grade, that's like his full formal title, but you can shorten it to Lieutenant Knight.
Okay, Lieutenant Knight was infected. However, we've got him stabilized as well. And I just appreciate all the help from D Space Nine here, and Lieutenant Knight's help also. But we do have it contained, and I will have a detailed report on what the pathogen is and what kind of atmosphere and area we need to be looking for.
Okay, thank you. Is Knight Kinley 100%? Because I think I might need his help on a lead. Lead that might help.
I would say that as quickly as we caught it, he should be ready to go within the next 15 to 20 minutes here.
Okay.
Yep, that's an accurate statement. You caught it very recently. In fact, if it wasn't for his recent shoulder injury, he might not have caught the physical symptoms. So this could have gone undetected in Night for several hours, but he caught it very quickly, and he can recover very quickly.
Commander, I do just want to be clear. Dr. Bog is completely underestimating what just happened here. He just not only discovered, but he created a cure for an unknown disease, a disease that no one has seen before. Please keep that in mind.
In fact, Archibald, you get to name the virus and the disease, because that's how this works.
It's obviously going to be Kovac disease.
We now have Kovac disease.
I mean, how do you not name it that after earlier?
Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Altered Corbin.
Oh, is that straight up from is that from another show?
Yep.
Well, it's a dude's last name, not first name.
Oh, okay.
Wait, last name.
Yeah, it's the main character, or
Yeah, Takeshi Kovac.
yep.
And also on top of that what COVID was openly called doing a Braden Rogers skit.
All right, as you synthesize the viral agent and apply it to the prisoner woman who was unlucky, her vital signs slowly begin to stabilize. She's probably going to be probably best for her to be knocked out for the next 24 hours as her fluid levels rebalance, but she'll probably be on the mend.
Sounds good. I suppose we need, we're not keeping these prisoners, are we? They're going to stay on Deep Space Nine. Is that correct?
Yeah, they're in Deep Space Nine in custody. You are just allowed to interview them as part of an ongoing investigation.
All right, I'll transfer my medical data to Dr. Bashir, and I'm going to ask that he basically signs over responsibility for the patient.
I will gladly take responsibility for this patient after all the work you have done. I feel I have the easy part.
I appreciate your support here, and as you know, this is something new. If you decide there's something you need help with, don't hesitate to contact the Svalinn.
Very well. Thank you, Doctor. As the 15 minutes have passed and night, you've been medically released.
I feel fit as a fiddle, Commander. Let's go.
Yes, follow me, Lieutenant, as we go into Quarks.
Wasn't where I was
Quarks.
expecting you to need my help.
and Quarks, as lively as ever, the Dabo table is spinning. There's lovely Dabo girls who are fawning patrons and out of their hard-earned latinum, and there's of particular interest as to you, Calder. There's actually a group of Nausicaans in a far dark corner that seem to be huddled over their drinks, speaking in hushed whispers. And at the bar, a short Art Ferengi is hustling any drinks. Come in! Welcome to Quarks! More Federation and type. Are you from the new ship?
Indeed I am. I sit down to signaling Knight to sit next to me.
I take a seat next to him.
All right, both of you sit at the bar, and it looks like Ike Morn was just finishing up a riveting tale that has raptured our course attention, but he has drifted off to drinking his beverage. So, what can I do you for? You want some drinks? Did you need to eat a holosuite for the day? Hey, did you need some personal attention from your long patrols?
I'll take a whiskey, neat.
Hey, when duty, so 2 Synthols, if I call those, are non-alcoholic.
Synthols are non-alcoholic.
Yeah, so order those, and I'll say I'm also on a investigation, and I'm wondering if you know someone who know a guy who would be selling green tech.
Nope, I'm not involved in this. Nope. And he turns his back, replicates your synthahol, nearly slams down on the counter, and walks away.
I'm gonna grab the little Ferengi by the collar and say, I didn't see that my captain said that you could leave yet.
I have other guests I need to take care of.
Don't worry, you're not in trouble. I just want to know where this guy is and talk to him. That's it.
Huh? Brain tech? How do you think I could get brain tech here? They're so far away. They're on the other side of Cardassia. They hardly come down here anymore. I mean, there's sanctions against their brain tech. Really?
Come now, Quark. A Ferengi should be able to get their hands on anything if they need to.
I mean, I could get my hands on some illicit, hard to acquire tech. He corrects himself. If I truly want on it to, but you know, that takes time, and time is latinum. So, but I have a feeling that you're not so much looking for a sale. You're looking for a seller. Am I correct, Commander?
Yes, we are looking for a seller. As I go in, I'll put the double the price of the synthol on the counter. Well, yeah, double the price of both glasses.
Okay. He looks at the Latinum, looks at you, looks at the Latinum. It's gonna cost a little bit more than and that for me to reveal the information. You know, I have standards.
So you do have the information. At this point, I think I'm trying to create an advantage by intimidating him, sorting his jacket out after I grabbed it, just putting his collar back where it should be.
Oh, we could do that. Presence, security, difficulty 2 to create that advantage.
Yeah, and I would like to use a momentum to grab an extra dice.
Okay. As
18. Yeah.
Yep. Close, but luckily not a 20. Yeah, as that advantage is created.
Okay. Lovely.
He's a little spooked by being roughed up by Starfleet officers. You know, he had an understanding with Cisco, but you know he's been gone for 2 years, and then Odo left, and this new guy comes in, and now you came in, and it's just, you know, the entire delicate balance of law and order has been thrown off. What's a Ferengi to do?
I think I'll go in. If you tell us the information we know we might be gratified enough to forget, somebody who has illegal tech.
Huh? Illegal's a strong word. It's more of unsavory. You know, I don't deal in illegal things, just it's hard to get things. You know, we can't be throwing around words like legality here.
Oh yeah, how much were the 2 drinks?
Huh? 2 slips each, so double that. You have 8 slips on the table.
I think I'll have to go in 2 more. I don't know if that'll be enough.
Okay, that gets up to a strip. Go ahead and give me a presence, command, or security roll difficulty 2. See if you can persuade him.
I'll do presence command, and I'll spend a threat for a 3rd dice. Do you want to assist me, Knight?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and use my advantage as well, or the advantage, should I say, as well?
Yep, you can use the advantage to. You can use that advantage to bring down the difficulty to 1.
Yep.
Can I class this as interrogation techniques?
Yeah. You'll be able to ask more questions.
Would diplomacy work as a focus?
Yeah. You are asking him for information, and in exchange, he can keep doing his business.
Good cop, bad cop, love it.
Yes.
You must remember, like, I used to do a happy job on Svalinn.
Alright, so we have some float. 2 float on the table, as indeed. Okay, I'll tell you. He's been kind of a thorn in my eyesight anyways. I forgot what was the name of the Breen captain's thoughts? Okay. I can give you the command, the communication frequencies. He needs to talk to this guy. He's very secretive. If not, doesn't get out much. Probably smells bad, but he's good for his word. He can manage to get Breen technology out. I'm pretty sure, or we can make arrangements to. I'm pretty sure, with my help and your securing my safety, I could arrange a meeting between you two. Give me a time and place. And another strip.
I pull one out and put one on the table, so that means I am down 2 strips, but that is fine.
Yep, two strips total. He takes it, counts it, pockets it. Very well. I will be in contact with you in the next 2 days. Is with a rendezvous. Anything specific that you want to ask this gentleman for?
Just want to know a list of people who bought a jammed device from the man.
Brain jamming device. T3 E75 Delta. Yeah. I could arrange it. Although he's spooked seeing a Federation vessel at the rendezvous point. But I'll arrange the meeting. You have to figure out how to get there. You do have 2 float. Would you like to use that to create an advantage or gain more information?
Matter, I don't know how you feel about this, but maybe we should ask him if he said about any other dissidents on the station.
Yeah, let's go with that. You can spend one and I can spend one because this has been a combined effort.
Actually, you have 2 free questions from lead investigator.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh yeah, you're right. Do you have what was the idea for one?
We should ask him if he's heard about any Bajoran activities on the station, if there's anyone here asking any weird questions, knowing that the Cardassians come to visit.
Yeah, good ask. Yeah, I'm good ask Quark that.
I mean, having the Cardassians back on the station again is not exactly making the wrinkle noses very happy. And then he looks at his own nose. Well, okay, apparently that's a human expression. But apparently they've been working on this deal for ages. Originally, he wanted this Ambassador Rel wanted a consulate on Bajor itself, but the First Minister was absolutely not having it, along with 75% of Bajor's population. And it took them a year just to get the consulate on Deep Space Nine itself, which seems to have cooled some heads. And over the past year, they've been talking about this being a sign of good faith, and peace is good for business. As far as specific destinants and people asking odd questions, there is a local dock engineer whom I think have been acting suspicious.
Do you have any names, Quark?
Oh, I have plenty of names.
I just give Quark a look. Quark, that is a lovely color. I'd hate to see any blood get on it.
Oh my goodness.
Easy, Tiger.
Really? I thought I had a name for this guy.
Man, you need some.
I was in Anton. He appears to be he's a damage control team leader. Or he helps make sure that the ships come in, that they're all taken care of. But he's been working a lot lately. I normally see him 3 times a week, but he's been working overtime. I think, and if I were to say anything, I would think that he's up to something. But of course, I wouldn't say anything.
Thank you, Quark. I have found that information most useful. As I go back to drinking my synthol.
I'm free to go now.
Commander.
Yeah, he's free to go.
Very well. And he takes off and goes about his duties.
Commander, I know we haven't worked together for very long, but I do want to let you know I never would have hurt him.
I know.
Sometimes you just got to let people think you will.
I know, but sometimes that'll help when you have a good bedside manner.
All right. With that, I'll change scenes, and we're coming up on the dusk of the first day. Maddox and Meldon, you've just finished and basically tearing apart the shuttle. You've gotten a bunch of information and out of it, and it's coming up at the end of the day. Hey, Captain's been fully brought up to speed of what you found. What would you like to do?
Yeah, just feel like moving everyone here would make sense.
Okay. So, at the end of the day, everyone gets a crew briefing.
Yeah, just to put together all of our findings.
All right. Feel free to just discuss.
Okay,
so that virus. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you go first.
So that virus came from some sort of asteroid or moon or something of that nature?
Correct. It's has a very specific need as far as its atmospheric conditions, and is definitely not native to Class M. And the only way it was actually transmitted was it got into the bloodstream and was basically attacking the system and basically draining the person's fluids and causing a redistribution of them because it was so incompatible. Here's the data, and I'll slide it from my pad onto the screen. As far as what conditions specifically this would need to survive, my initial analysis indicates that it's a pretty narrow window, probably an asteroid that has been converted or something along that lines.
I mean, it could. A good way we could do it is if we go in on the with the flight log, we could probably narrow it down the locations.
Yeah, I actually remember, Captain, that there was mention of a set of asteroids where they were doing some training in their flight logs as well. There might be a connection there.
Good eye there, Maldon. And also, me and Knight acquired information on where to find the guy who supplies them with their green jammers. But I feel like if we do go through that avenue, bringing the Svalinn might spook him. So we might have to just use the runabout.
I don't know if there's any more plans to talk to any more of the fighter crew, but considering that we have a fairly detailed log of their movements and which freighters that they attacked, that might be useful information to use to pressure them if we do have another chat with them as well. Say, hey, we know that you were here and that you attacked this. That would actually be, I assume that would be relevant information to actually be able to press charges and keep them as prisoners as well.
Yeah, I think we can pass that information to DS9, but they were being ferried around, so they didn't actually know where the base was.
Well,
there isn't much more info we can get from them.
I mean, we might get info from Yabu. About who's their leader is. Because a bog did save their life.
Sounds like a good plan. How many asteroid fields would there be around in the area that they're potentially operating between here and Cardassia?
It could be a countless, like any old rock tumbling through space.
Unlikely that they'd pick a moving one.
Probably not a moving one, but there are not necessarily stable ones, but there are like rogue planetary systems and rogue asteroid fields that do like migrate through space, and occasionally people will claim them for mining rights. I said something instead of a mining station on them. It's just a matter of which one there is, and since there's not a star that they're around, they're kind of finicky to find. Because, you know, anyone can find a star.
Do you know where the place I'm supposed to meet the dealer is?
Quark was gonna arrange that meeting and get back to you.
Okay.
Was there any other leads or information that you would like to share or discuss?
I think what would be helpful if we could narrow it down the asteroid belt locations with the flight log.
Okay, you could do that at now. Plus con diff. I have this as threat. Let's use it.
You're gonna use the threat.
Yep. Alright, so control plus con, difficulty 3, assisted by presence medicine from Dr. Bog as he describes the parameters of the environment. And you cross-reference this with the flight log.
I will assist with the direct.
Excellent.
I'm controlling one one dice, correct, for me?
Yep, just one dice.
Assisting.
Who's taking the lead on this?
I think our Arcana officer should.
Yes.
All right. Would you? Do you have any focuses that would apply?
Interstellar navigation.
That will work. Would you like to buy any additional dice with momentum or threat?
Yes, both.
Okay. One threat for a third dice and 2 momentum for a fourth.
Correct.
All right. To trigger that bold. Okay. Go ahead.
Oh no, that sucks.
Oh no.
There, wah, wah, wah. There's where we finally got bit in the butt with all them rolls that we've been doing.
I still
Oh goodness. And here I thought you were gonna find it too soon.
Does anyone have a thing that they can re-roll all that? Is there any way to do that?
I can. Well, you do have a bold, and I still have my dedication.
Yeah. Has Meldon done a determination yet? Or
I think. No, I gave him a determination, so he still has one.
he still has one, or you can give him another one.
So am I just re-rolling those two critical failures?
Oh yeah, you could. Yeah, if you spend a determination.
Yep. So what value would you? You're trying to suss out the location and the information here.
Right. I've already used Eager to Please once already, and that crosses it out, right?
No, it does not cross out.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll use Eager to Please. Easy.
Yep, easy peasy. And you can re-roll just the two crit failures, or you can re-roll the entire pool.
Yeah, I'd like to re-roll just the 2 crit failures.
All right, you may re-roll.
GM, is this complication 1?
It's complication 1.
What? Oh my goodness. I've had it on complication 3 this whole time.
Well, I mean, everyone. No, wait,
Everyone has been a
Finally
net.
rolled to-
Yeah, so
Oh, yeah.
Bog's not an actual
I
crit failure.
thought that.
Yeah.
I
so-
thought that 3 at the end. I'm sorry. I thought that 3 at the end was the complication.
Yeah, it's fine, but don't worry, we only got one crit fail, so that means all we have to do is spend 2 momentum to quash it.
Yep, we can spend 2 momentum to quash it. I just looked over Dr. Boggs. That's not actually a crit failure, but unfortunately, you are unable to narrow it down. You kind of got like 5 or 6 systems that it could be, but they're scattered across the sector. It will take you days to scout each one of them out. So you need to narrow it down a bit more.
Oh wait, you still have your bold because you spent the debt, so you could roll 1 more dice.
Oh, you could.
Sure,
yes, the bold. I'll re-roll would still.
Let's go for it.
Okay. That is a good point.
Hey! Can't live with that.
But you think, and we're gonna take that back from the quash. And yeah, you are able to narrow down all the parameters, cross-reference it with a flight log, and you think you have a location.
Captain, I think this location right here, based on the relevant data, is the most likely spot.
In fact, I can show you on the... Oh, that seems rude, but right about there. It is a small mining colony that used to belong to Bajor, was annexed by Cardassia during the peace treaty, the first peace treaty that moved the border and made the Maquis, and is now being traded back.
So it looks like this is going to be a 16-hour trip if we go on high cruise, which I imagine is just max speed. Am I correct?
If we're waiting a response on me, I don't know how to read this map as far as how much time that's going to take.
I think it's a question for the GM for what high cruise is.
Okay.
Yeah, well, on the lower left-hand corner, the white square that says description saying how long it would
2
take
hours.
to
Gotcha.
yeah, and then I did the ruler from us to there, and it says 8 squares.
Right. Yes, Captain.
Yes, that's
hours.
correct.
Yeah, what's the difference between max speed and high cruise?
I will have to pull up my calculator, but you can do you can do emergency max speed for 12 hours. After that, Maddox is going to be quite upset with you. But technically, there is a higher warp speed you can do. So
Yeah, if depending on how fast it'll take us if we go max warp.
And most of this is speed of plot, anyways. Let me check the back of the seat. What's our maximum warp speed is? .75 versus is 8.8. If you do emergency max warp or 12 hours, and then drop up to warp 8.8, you can shave that time down. Instead of 16 hours, you're looking at 10 hours.
Your thoughts, Matt? I think that is a good risk.
Maddox?
Here.
Sorry, I nodded off slightly.
Yeah,
You've had a long day.
I've
You
been
get
up
up
since 4:30, so sorry.
Yeah.
The captain's asking if you think it's acceptable to go maximum M warp for 12 hours to get to this asteroid field really quickly.
I would think we could pull it off.
yeah,
I mean, this is the safety regs that's written by the guys at Utopia Planitia. They, there's probably some wiggle room as far as specs and stuff you could massage out of the systems if you really felt like it.
Yeah, absolutely, we can do that.
All right. With that, we have the one lead of the asteroid base over here. We have the lead of the suspicious Bajoran engineer, Ozan Tan on Deep Space Nine, who seems to be working overtime. And we have a lot of questions and about Vale Ida. Captain, what are your orders? As you're pushing into dawn of the second day, 48 hours left until the ambassador comes.
Captain, I suggest we request permission to bring the prisoner on board the ship so we can interrogate them as we're going to the asteroid.
We still have to talk to this worker, so that means you and me can go to the worker, and the Maddox and Diablo could go to the prisoner.
All right.
Then that way. Wait. And also, maybe we could have Quark arranged to have the meeting here. But I might have to talk to Commander Luis to give it the syrup in, so that way there's no accidental raid at this meeting.
Okay. So we have several things going on. We have this Bajoran worker. We're going to talk to. You need to talk to Commander Kira and inform her what's going on. And do you want to send the ship ahead, and while some of you stay behind to do the investigation?
If Maddox is fine with taking the ship and leaving the Delta Flyer, well, the Sliffner here, because I think the Delta Flyer is faster than the Ericsson.
If that's your orders, Captain, then I am comfortable with it.
Yeah, just go on. You don't have to go full warp. Go on normal speed, and we will try and see if we can meet you before you get there.
Acknowledge.
Okay. So, Maddox and Meldon are taking the Svalinn to this asteroid field. Calder is going to Commander Kira, and to the prisoners. Knight is going to talk to more prisoners.
Well, I'm thinking more of. Well, I mean, we don't have to talk to more prisoners because we got the pretty much leader, and because I think Maddox has the whole use to save my life, so I gonna have a solid. I could kind of have to give you a solid.
Okay. So where's Knight heading in all of this? Is he staying with the ship or staying on the station?
It's up to him if he wants to talk to the worker or come to talk to Kira with me.
So just to check I understand, is it the Delta, not the Delta Flyer, that ship that's going to go to the Bajoran spot? Is that ship that's going?
It looks like, if I'm understanding this correctly, the entire ship to Svalinn is going to be going to the asteroid field under command of Maddox to check it out. He is leaving the Sleipnir at DS9 for you to use for your covert rendezvous with this Breen tech dealer.
Yeah.
I mean, Captain, I should probably be on the ship. How good's the Gorn? How good's Zogar?
He's good. You do have access to look at a sheep.
Yeah, I was just doing it. Okay. I'm good either way, Captain, whichever you'd rather me do. Do you want to help with the interrogation, or do you want me to help defend the ship if it gets into trouble?
Well, I mean, like the...
You know what?
The entire...
One of my values is about the Captain, so I'm going to stick with you, Captain.
Yeah, well, yeah. Like, my step for this plan is... we'll see if we can, do the prisoner and the worker here, and somehow talk to Kira to allow us to talk to this dealer on DS9, so we could use the Sleipnir to meet the Svalinn before they reach the asteroid field. Opinions on that god?
Last question. Where would Dr. Bog be going? Would he be going with Svalinn, or would he be staying on Deep Space Nine?
I think on DS9, because talking to the prisoner he helped save, yeah. Because you do have the whole, hey, like, you saved me, so I kind of owe you thing. And I'll see if I could have Daiba come with you.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. As everyone's favorite sound.
Okay, I'm tap the comm badge and say, weird, what's the problem?
Huh? We just got an emergency message from Deep Space Nine. Someone's bombed the consulate.
Okay, let's go there now. As I get up and start running. I'll let people follow me. Yeah, who everyone wants to come with can come with.
I would definitely be headed that way.
You run down the game plank, and I need to get. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. As it's late at night, most of the promenade is empty. There is smoke pouring out of the proposed consulate's office, and then there are 3 Bajorans in there who are making a run for it. They are at long range from you. And yeah, you go first.
Okay, I think, how many maneuvers would it take to at least go in front of them, 2 or 3?
They're at long range from you. They're almost around the bend, and so you have to move at least 2 zones to meet up with them, 3 zones to get in front of them.
Okay, so I think I'll do a endurance check to see if I can get in front of them.
Okay. Fitness security difficulty 2 to see if you can cut them off.
Okay, I'm going to spend my determination. Better to deal with the problem now than later.
That absolutely fires.
Okay, so that is 3 successes, and I will activate my Medal of Honor.
Okay. 2 more. So
Get 2 more momentum.
okay, so 2 of this is float for that, as you're able to cut in front of them. What would you like to use your 2 momentum for?
I would like to do a swift action and see if I could try and stop the group.
Stopping the groups
in a way.
Stopping the group's going to be a hard call. You can stop one of them.
Okay. I think I'll with my movement, could I actually be like here if possible?
Yeah.
Like in close of him.
Okay, so you're trying to go after the big guy?
Yeah. I think I'll aim my phaser and say stop it right there.
Stop right there, criminal scum.
Yes.
Presence security, difficulty E3.
Okay, I'm going to spend 3 momentum for a 2 dice.
Okay.
I think Starfleet Protocol might work because. Would you allow Starfleet Protocol?
Talk me into it. How would this apply?
Yeah, I'm following the protocol to arrest someone.
Okay, I'll allow it.
That's 3 success.
All right. Go ahead and roll 2 plus your security and challenge dice. See if you can psych this guy out.
I'd like to spend 1 momentum to reroll those 3 dice.
Yep. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I'll interpret this way. Okay, as he seems properly psyched out, but it is my turn, and
Wait, quick to action. So that means someone can
someone
go
on
next.
your side can go next. All right, who's going next?
Do you want to go, Knight?
Yep, sorry, I was just eating some chocolate. I expected something to be going. I thought it was going to be their turn. Yeah. I was thinking about trying to initiate some sort of force field to make sure they can't run down whatever alleyway they're heading towards.
I don't think the promenade has fields like that.
It's been years since they could have implemented them.
Another problem is that this is not your ship.
I get it. I was going to ask security. Like if I see them heading down towards the corridor, I was going to set up like. I assume we're seeing them heading a direction. Are they just running around the circle? Because it looks like they're heading to whatever this blue thing is on the left to me. Right, what's that blue thing
they're
on the left?
they're just running around the circle, but you could call ahead to Deep Space Nine and say, hey, they're following around this area. Set up a force field to inform DS9 security to set up a blockade at this sector.
Okay, I'll tell you what, instead I'm just going to shoot. As a minor action, then I'm going to aim, and I'm going to shoot at the one on the left. Wait, 1, 2, how many? This is long. Oh, I don't know my range on the phases.
It's just a difficulty 2.
Okay. So I would be rolling control plus security.
Control plus security, difficulty 2.
Wow, I have no skills to help me with shooting this gun. Unless Starfleet Protocol would go for it, but I doubt that would work. Okay, you know what? I'm going to add some threat then. So to add an extra dice.
Okay, so 1 momentum for an extra dice.
No, 1 threat for an extra dice.
Well, you do have like 2 rerolls because of the aim and the hold.
Yeah, I think I'm going to reroll one of those dice.
Okay.
That'll do. I guess I'll just keep that.
All right.
Which I think is 2 bonus momentum.
Yep, 2 extra momentum generated. Which one are you aiming at? The supposed
the one on the
leader?
left, yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I can't tell this one on the left, but the one on the left looks like they're in a Starfleet uniform, I'm guessing.
He's not Starfleet. These guys are in civilian clothes, but the guy with the face actually seems older and kind of is leading the pack.
Okay, let's go with him.
All right. Go ahead and roll all your phaser damage.
So I copied it over from my character sheet that I created. It tells me 7. Is that right? Just 7?
Yes, that should be right.
What does qualities of charge mean? Sorry, forgive my ignorance.
Minor action to increase the area, or to do a spread, or.
Okay. I guess I'll just keep it focused on that.
Before you do anything, what type of phaser do you have? Type 2 or?
Type 2.
Okay, so actually change that number to a 3 because you're adding the +4 from security because the chevron automatically adds your security. So it should be just a 3.
It should be a 3, not a 7. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because
Yeah, the weapons automatically add the security to the dice.
Oh, you mean when I press this button, it's going to turn into a 7 anyway? Is what you're saying?
Yep.
Got it. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. And with charge.
Can I use that momentum I created to re-roll any of these things? Zeros? Like,
yeah, you can re-roll.
Does those zeros matter? Let me rephrase that. Do the zeros matter?
0 just means the zeros.
Okay, let me rephrase this question. I don't understand how to interpret how much damage that is. So what does any of this mean?
Oh, the chevron mean +1. 1 because and the 1 and 2 are just a +1 and +2. So treat the chevrons as 1s unless you would have used the charge, which would have been a maneuver.
Got it. So I guess I can use a momentum. So how many zeros do I get to reroll from that?
You can reroll as many as you want with one momentum.
Okay, let's do that. I'll just reroll those 2 then. I think, right? That's the right play here.
Yep.
Alright, we'll leave it like that then.
So that is 7 damage.
Oof. This is Corporal. 1, 2, 3, 4. The Corporal hits the ground like a wet sack of potatoes. He actually he gets hit, goes sprawling, and crashes into one of the glass directories. But you don't have means to keep the initiative anymore. This guy is going to be silly, and he's going to punch you.
Okay, let's do this.
Oppose during security.
Wait, let me first build 1 challenge dice. Okay, so I get my determination back again.
Yep, I'm spending to grab an extra dice. You are silly. You are a silly person.
I will also spend 1 momentum per dice.
Okay. Anything else?
That is also.
Oof. So you gain 2 on top of that, as you can throw an unarmed strike against this poor gentleman who is making very poor life decisions.
Yep. Wait, that should be.
I forgot what the unarmed strike was.
It's 2 plus your command rank.
2 plus your security.
Yes,
Sorry.
so there should be 2 more challenge dice.
No, just roll 2 more.
Up. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the 2 zeros, I'll spend a momentum to re-roll those 2 zeros.
Okay.
So that's 5 damage.
That is enough for an injury, and he can't avoid it. So he goes to punch you, and you counter and pin him against the wall. You like grab his hand, spin around, and smash him into the wall, so he is restrained.
Indeed, he is.
Back to player side. Would someone else like to come running in with either their own character or a supporting character? We do have Deba Val, who's still active. Someone could pick her up.
There's nobody injured on our side of the table at this point, correct?
No, none of the players have even been hit.
Okay. Well, I'll play this other person. Well, then I can't play me though, right?
Well, I mean,
yeah, you could do both. Oh, technically.
Okay, what's his character's name that I gotta pull up here?
Daiba.
Daiba, there we go. Okay. So, looks like she has a phaser 2. So, and we've still got one one that's trying to get away.
Yeah, we still have one that's trying to get away.
Yeah.
I will take a shot at that. One trying to get away.
All right.
And I guess I haven't really been listening as to what they're rolling. I didn't figure I'd be involved in this.
It's control security for phases, and if I call she has a focus, that'll work.
Ground combat?
Yeah, this is ground combat. I'm going to increase that difficulty to 3. They're just getting around the bend, so it's really hard to get a lock on them. But you might be able to pull this off.
Can I move down the ring some to mitigate that and still fire, or is that possible?
No, you have to fire now, or you'll lose your shot.
Okay.
I mean, you can still do a swift to aim, so that until you get that free reroll.
All right, I'll do a swift to aim. Thank you.
Yep, you have a reroll. Would you like to purchase any additional dice?
What's the complication range?
Complication range is 1, difficulty is 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Control security.
I'll go ahead and spend a momentum to get an extra here, and it's important. We need to get these guys shut down, right? So I'll go ahead and I can spend a threat to get a 4th dice. Is that right?
You can spend a threat and a momentum to get a 4th dice. It's 2 to get the 4th dice.
Calder, do you think that's reasonable, or should I just stick with the 3 dice?
Well, yeah, I think 3 is fine because you have 3 and the reroll.
Okay, that's true. I forgot about the reroll. All right, let's go ahead and do that. We'll just spend the 1 momentum for that. Okay.
All right.
Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan. All right, roll that, and damage dice should be the chevron next to the phaser type 2.
And that shows a 3 in there. Is that correct?
Yep, 3 plus the security. As that is more than 5. As as he is stunned and just slumps against a wall.
Awesome.
Okay, so I imagine my dude is knocked out, so pretty much as player, I'm just gonna like slam him out of the wall too, knock him out, and find the fire extinguisher so I can start extinguishing the flames.
Okay. Yeah, for 1 momentum, you can have a fire extinguisher.
Okay.
Right, as you are putting out the flames, this guy was not knocked out, but he could be secured by someone else.
Well, I said that I was gonna slam him into the wall to knock him out.
Okay. I'm sure Bog's gonna love that.
I mean, I'll just have Diabus subdue.
Yeah, okay. As you start putting out the flames, Knight, what are you doing at this time? Seems like these guys are taken care of.
Just securing the area.
All
Making
right.
sure there's no secondary explosives at the Cardassian consulate.
Go ahead and give me a. Would that be Insight Security difficulty 2 to secure the area.
To secure the area. Alright.
Yep. With that, you quickly sweep the area safely. There doesn't appear to be any secondary area explosives, and there's no one else coming around. About this time, the local authorities show up and start helping put out the fire and secure the prisoners. What happened over here?
The Bajorans use a bomb to blow up the consulate.
Okay.
I said while continuing to use the fire extinguisher to subdue the flames.
Eventually the flames aims to subdue and don't spread it anywhere. This guy is just yelling in terrorist rhetoric, Bajor for Bajorans! And there's a small crowd gathering around on the area, like, there's an explosion. What's going on here? A bunch of civilians start showing up at the edge of the crime scene. What do you want to do, Commander?
Try and calm down the crowd to say nothing to see here. The situation that has been solved. Go back to your homes.
Okay.
Should this be a command?
Yep, this would be Presence Command. And difficulty, I'm going to say difficulty 3 based on the size of the crowd.
Okay, with diplomacy work, and I will...
Can I help try to create an advantage here for him when he's making this? And basically yell out, there could be toxic fumes here that can... Everybody needs to get back. There's possible toxic fumes here.
I will allow that for or an assist. So... Okay. Calder is rolling Presence Command and difficulty 3, and Bog can help with Presence Medicine.
So I've got a talent here that says Doctor's Order. When you attempt a task to coordinate others or to coerce someone into taking or refraining from a specific course of action, you may use your medicine discipline instead of command.
Yep, that's why you can assist with your medicine discipline.
Okay.
Yep.
I shall spend a momentum and 2 threat for 3 dice. Well, 4 dice.
Okay. 1 momentum and 2 threat.
Yep. That means bolt activates.
Indeed, it does.
Would this be a control medicine for me then?
Presence medicine.
Okay, yeah, I gotta get that presence up a little bit.
Same here.
Oh man. I had a cool speech and everything.
I will re-roll that 1 dice.
Okay. Getting greedy. All right. As with, as your speech kind of helps disperse the crowd, and people will kind of hang back, especially with a mention of toxic fumes. They don't quite go back home, but they're at least staying back a good 50 meters. Well, Commander, the local security officer says, welcome to Deep Space Nine.
I hope this isn't an everyday thing.
No, but it might become on that. As far as I can tell, these 3 people were local.
I would like to pull out my tricorder and see if I could scan for any bomb residue.
Sure. Reason security difficulty 3.
I would be helping take care of any injured people at this point also.
Okay. You do notice that at this man, the 2 young Bajorans are like teenagers. They're like 17, 18. And this other man and here on the ground with red X, he's probably pushing 30. So he seems to be the ringleader of this, but he also took a really hard fall, so he probably needs some first aid really quick.
Now he's one of the ones that was involved in this, or is he's?
He was involved in this. It doesn't look like there was anyone who was actually caught in the blast. This was just arson, pretty much.
Okay,
well,
I'm going up. Continue.
Go ahead. I'm going to wait for my captain to say it's okay to treat these folks.
I mean, it's fine with them being in the brig, so I'm going to spend a determination to get a free critical success on a dice.
Okay.
Same determination as last time. No, wait, no, by failing to prepare. Okay, you are preparing to fail. Okay, so that's going to be... So this is going to be a roll +2. Any complication?
Nope, just difficulty 2.
Okay, so that is going to be 3 success. And I have to eat that complication.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. You're scanning around, and there is a residual plasma residue, so some sort of plasma explosive, and your tricorder seems to activate a secondary area explosion.
Oh my gosh. That's not...
Fitness medicine, and why is that repeating? That does not need to repeat. Fitness
you were
medicine.
scaring me there, DM.
I think it's because
How many?
It's just one explosion.
How many secondary explosives are there?
I think it would be because you really have the jukebox on loop.
Yeah, I had that specific one on loop for some reason. Fitness is security. Actually, not fitness. Daring security. Difficulty 3.
And who's this for?
This is just for the captain, as he's in the room scanning for explosives as a secondary explosion goes off.
I will spend 1 momentum.
All right.
I'm not in there, am I?
Nope, it's just the captain. As his tricorder starts beeping an alarm, and he goes, "No!" and dramatically dives out.
Nope, that's not me diving. That's me getting flung with a blast.
That is you getting flung with the blast.
Whoosh.
Whoosh. That was a pretty big explosion. Come on, injury. I have nothing left. Okay, so you take 4 stress as you're flung by the explosion. You hit the ground and hard. You roll, badly on your shoulder. Ow, ow, ow.
I'm gonna rush over to the captain, obviously, and
your back's on fire. The back of your our uniform caught on fire.
Well, then I'm gonna put him out first.
Okay. Daring medicine and difficulty 1. All right. As you're able to pat him out, I'll give him good once over. I mean, that's 4 stress, but it's not injury, so you could be worse for wear. You're just you're just scattered at the moment. Not scattered. You're distracted at the moment.
Pretty wild second day, huh, Doctor?
Yeah. I'm ready for a break.
And with that hanging in the air and the captain's ears ringing, literally, we see that there are some unruly faces in the crowd out that are starting to bring up a chant. As you suddenly realize the daunting task of securing this sector might not be as easy as you thought.
Okay, can someone tell me what they're saying? All I hear is tinnitus.
Doctor, you hear them saying, "Bajor for Bajorans." It's like 20 people out of the crowd of 100 who's starting this.
Okay. Mr. Knight, I think maybe we need to secure the area here for ourselves and maybe move to a better location if this is going to get out of hand.
We should probably let station security take care of that, who I believe arrived a little while ago.
Yep, station security is here, and they're starting to disperse the crowd as you are left with if questions and concerns. But that, for tonight, is the end of our episode.